Congressman, you're 72 years old. You have a career as a doctor. You've served in Congress. You're a grandfather. Why do this now?
I think freedom's worth working for and struggling for. If somebody doesn't do it, the country's going to get worse.
What does it say to you that it took raising millions of dollars for you to be taken seriously by what you call the mainstream?
I think it's sad. I think the message should be the only thing that counts, but you can't get the message out without the money. We've done it in the reverse fashion. The message was significant, and the supporters have rallied. For instance, the way that money was raised was not by the campaign. We didn't organize it. We didn't ask. It came spontaneously. There was no cost to us whatsoever. And a lot of campaigns now have been snooping around. How do you do it? And even the members of Congress will kid me and say, tell me how you raise this money. Can we copy what you're doing? But they don't understand. It has nothing to do with us managing the Internet. It's an idea that has circulated, and all of a sudden the people use the Internet to come to us. You can't copy that unless you have a very important message. If you have the right message, you will excite people.
What do you think, Congressman, that you have tapped into in terms of this bottom-up campaign that you have?
Well, of course, it's sort of part of my personal philosophy in that I don't like top-down government either. I don't like centralized government. I don't like international government. I like local government. Also, because the campaign is not run from the top, it's run from the bottom up, people do all kinds of things. If we had to hire everybody to do the things they're doing, we'd have used up all our money. But we don't have to hire people. They go out and they make their own signs, and they go out and campaign. We have an army of people out there doing things spontaneously, all because of the issue and their concerns. But I think what we've tapped into, and something that I didn't really know how much of it existed, was how unhappy the American people.
You didn't know?
Not to this extent. As a matter of fact, I was very reluctant to do this. I argued for years, 2, 3, 4 years, people want you got to do it, you got to do it. I said, it's not ready yet. I knew there was a lot of groundwork being done, to promote the cause of liberty and sound money and, all the things I believe in. But I didn't know how many people really believed in it in a sincere way and how well the young people would respond. But all of a sudden, we have this tremendous support, and the numbers are great, and our rallies are big. But what I guess I didn't realize is that people are very upset, and they've lost confidence in the government.
So before your campaign, had you been on Facebook, MySpace, YouTube? I mean, how often were you going?
No, I wouldn't have been involved in that. I mean, my grandkids would talk about it a little bit, but even they got more interested once the campaign broke out.
So when you would go onto these sites and you would see your face popping up instead of these individual people, and it was all Ron Paul pictures for these young people's pages, what'd you think?
I wonder what they're thinking. Because I never think about it as me being the issue as much as the philosophy being the issue. I want to deliver a message, and I've been able to achieve that. And quite frankly, I thought that I would just leave a record, and maybe later on there would be enough people who cared and would look at it and what it would be like if you had a strict constitutionalist in office. How would they vote? They'd go back and say, oh, yeah, he voted 150 times all by himself. That's different. And I wonder why he did that. And why wouldn't he vote for this? It sounds so wonderful and benign. And they say, well, maybe it was because the Constitution doesn't give us the authority to do that. So my goal was to set a record.
So here's a list of things, and you can just tell me if you want to get rid of it or not. Social Security.
Not really. I mean, I would prop up Social Security by bringing our troops home and tiding people over. But eventually, we should have a better system, and I offer young people to get out of Social Security.
Roe versus Wade?
Yes, I want that very difficult issue to be dealt with at the state level, like it used to be.
The U.S. presence in the Middle East?
Bring them home as quickly as possible.
All of them?
All of them, and not only from the Middle East, from Europe, and from Korea and Japan, save hundreds of billions of dollars.
Get rid of TSA?
Yeah, I voted against that.
Get rid of Department of Homeland Security?
It doesn't mean I don't want those services done. I want them done a different way. It should be done privately.
And the Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah, I voted against that too. We're less secure because of it. But I don't want these huge bureaucracies. That makes government less efficient, not more efficient.
So the Patriot Act, for or against it?
I'd repeal the Patriot Act.
Immediately?
Yeah.
And the war in Iraq and Afghanistan?
I'd end them. I'd come home. We'd have no business occupying their territory. It's the incentive for terrorists to come here.
So when you hear people say, Congressman Ron Paul just has some really kooky, strange way out ideas, you say?
I say the kooky people are running the show. People who think that if you need money, you print money and spend it. Now, that's a kooky idea. Now, people who think that we should have the government take care of us are the people, if you look and you say, well, they're the ones who took care of the problems in New Orleans after Katrina. Well, that wasn't a very good job. So I would say that the appeal that we have is ours is common sense. Common sense, it's the rule of law, it's the Constitution, it's what made America great. It deals with property rights, it deals with personal liberty and personal choices. So if they call me kooky and extreme, that's not Ron Paul. They're saying the Constitution is extreme and weird, and that's why we ignore it.
People say, look, Congressman, you're not going to win. Mm-hmm. So why keep on with this? Of
course, at the beginning, they said you will always be a fringe candidate, too, and you can't raise any money. So
and you don't believe yourself to be a fringe candidate at all?
No. And nobody knows the future. You know, I'm not the candidate that comes in here and say, when I'm president, I'm going to do this, and our momentum is such that, we're going to win here. I don't know for sure, but all I know is we do better all the time and we exceed expectations. And if we continue to do the right thing and there's support out there, we're going to win.